Help keep Kinks and Beats Daily ad-free and receive bonus content early with a contribution of 20 cents per episode. Visit herohabit.com/shop for more information. Welcome to Kinks and Beats Daily. I'm your host, Tony Fry. Thank you for listening. We are on episode 149. Before we get started, I want to remind you all, swing by Facebook and join our Kinks and Beats Daily Facebook group where you can talk to me and other fans of the band or listeners of this podcast about this podcast, the topics here, or anything else related to the two bands that we like to cover here. So that's on Facebook. You can find information at herohabit.com for links if you can't find it on Facebook just by searching for us or going to the Hero Habit Facebook page. Today we are talking about the No-No song by Ringo Starr. It was released November 15th, 1974 on the album Goodnight Vienna, and was released as a single January 27th, 1975, backed with Snookeroo. This song was written by Hoyt Axton, who also wrote Joy to the World and Never Been to Spain for Three Dog Night. Never Been to Spain, of course, referencing the Beatles. And the song The Pusher by Steppenwolf. And he has other songs. He was a musician himself, but he wrote a lot of songs that other bands made famous as well, including the No-No song by Ringo Starr. Snookeroo, which was the B-side, we'll talk about that in its own episode, was written by Elton John and Bernie Taupin, and in my opinion is the logical A-side, but they put No-No song first. It was a hit, though, so what do I know? The song is about a former drug user who is turning down offers by peddlers to purchase weed, cocaine, and moonshine, depending on the verse. And the whole track has a quasi-island feel, and Ringo seems to really be digging into that island feel by affecting this weird accent, which also helps to accommodate the weak lyric structure. Because what we've got here, lyrically, this song is kind of dumb, but it's also supposed to be tongue-in-cheek, so I will forgive the kind of silly lyrics, but structurally, the lyrics don't really fit the melody. And so we've got these phrases and stuff where you've got strong syllables for the words on weak beats of the music. All right. And it's not, you can do that, and people will argue, syncopation is a strong beat on the weak beat, right? You're putting like a quarter note on the upbeat. That's a syncopation. But what I'm talking about here is that you also have to factor it in with where the melody's going. Okay? Let me pull up the lyrics here because I didn't even do enough research on this song to pull up the chords. So we're going to just do this on the fly here. So we have a lady that I know just came from Colombia. She smiled because I did not understand. Then she held out some marijuana. Ha ha. She said it was the best in all the land. That verse, not so bad. But then we get to, where was the worst one? A man I know just came from Nashville, Tennessee. Oh. That Nashville, Tennessee, the way the melody is constructed and the way the meter is established in the preceding verses, that Nashville, Tennessee does not fit. Right? So that's what I mean. It's not so much the strength of the, like the length, the time he's holding the song, the note. It's about the meter of the words and the meter not matching the meter of the melody. And so there's a lot of that in this song, and I think Ringo kind of affects this weird accent to accommodate the fact that the meter of the song does not really work with the meter of the lyrics. Track features some amazing musicians, though. The whole album that this is on, Goodnight Vienna, is produced by Richard Perry, who, if you don't know that name, go look him up. He was producing a ton of phenomenal rock albums in that time, with some of the biggest names that you know. And so when you've got a production by Richard Perry, and the musicians on here are Ringo on drums, Harry Nilsson on backing vocals, Nicky Hopkins on keyboards, Jesse Ed Davis on guitar, and Klaus Vormann on bass. With a lineup like that and Richard Perry producing behind the board, it'd be hard to make a wholly bad record. And if you just listen to the music on this track, it's really good music. But to me, it seems it's a little cheesy, and I think Ringo sells himself short by taking these lightweight type songs and maybe this is, back to his Beatle days, because they would give him the lightweight stuff that, John, Paul, and George weren't going to go near. But just because he doesn't have the voice to do big rockers or whatever, sometimes he gets these weak, lightweight songs and feels like he needs to do them. And I think this song musically, there's a better song hidden in here. I'm sure part of it is the gimmick of it being about drugs and alcohol and stuff. And, Ringo was not sober in 1974, and neither was, I can't speak to the others, but neither was Harry Nilsson. So there was a lot of partying going on. John, who contributed the title track, Goodnight Vienna, was in the middle of his lost weekend in LA. So partying with guys like Ringo and Harry Nilsson. So I think a lot of it is the novelty, and I think he did himself a disservice because the music is so good and radio ready, with this all-star lineup and great producer, it becomes a hit. And I don't know that this song would have been a hit with anybody else, but because it's a hit and it becomes a song that he's synonymous with, he also becomes synonymous with this kind of lightweight novelty fluff. And, this is coming off of It Don't Come Easy and Photograph and all these really high caliber, high quality songs, to come out with the No song and to an extent Back Off Boogaloo, which is another one that musically is great, but kind of a lightweight throwaway song. I think he does himself a disservice by taking these kinds of things, and it may have hurt his career. Despite it being a big hit and the album selling, it might have hurt his career. And I think, if Snookeroo had been the bigger hit, maybe things in the last half of the 70s would have been a different trajectory for Ringo Starr. Does any of that make sense? I feel like I just rambled on about Ringo's song choice. All that to say, I don't particularly find a lot of merit in this song. It's all 1-4-5 chords. If you were interested in knowing, it's in the key of C, which we know from the song Early 1970, which we've already talked about. Ringo likes the key of C. It's in the key of C. It's all C, F, G7s. That's it. If you know those three chords, you can play this song. And it was a number 3 hit, but like I said, I think Snookeroo might have fared better and added a better legacy to his career as a solo artist. Maybe I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Call me at 925-494-1739. Email me, kinksandbeats@herohabit.com, or yell at me on the Facebook group, Kinks and Beats Daily Facebook group, where we're going to keep things friendly. We're not going to have any of that nonsense that the other Kinks and Beatles Facebook groups have. We're going to just have fun and be nice and enjoy talking about our 2 favorite bands. All right, that's it for me. Swing by iTunes, give us a 5-star rating and review, and I will talk to you guys next time. Thanks for downloading. This podcast is presented by the Hero Habit Podcast Network. Swing by HeroHabit.com today to comment on this episode and poke around our growing database of sports and pop culture news, reviews, and collectibles. HeroHabit.com. Collect your heroes.